This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Eboni K Williams from The Real Housewives of New York was on Reality with the King, Stitcher podcast that's hosted by Carlos King. And she talked about how Real Housewives of New York is coming out with 2 different shows and why she believes that Bravo is launching 2 versions of Real Housewives of New York. Here's what she said.
So I was right here in this Airbnb and I was working and I did get an advanced call from production to let me know the details.
Was it hours before?
It was enough for me to not be shocked. When the general populace found out, I was informed. And I was in my feelings for about 2 seconds, only because, I feel very strongly that I did everything in my power, everything I knew to do, everything I could do to show up full throttle as my inaugural season as a housewife.
So what are the 2 shows?
So there's one that's like a throwback show. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a Real Housewives of New York throwback or reboot or legacy or whatever it is that they're calling it. And then they're keeping their casting pretty low. So, they're keeping the information on what their casting is going to be pretty low.
They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
New
they're
York
trying to
was
figure
trash
these things out because it didn't work out.
Well,
Last season was trash. Horrible.
Yeah, I don't watch either one of them, but I did a couple episodes just for Eboni, but it should be 2 shows, and the other show should be super diverse. It should be one that really reflects the melting pot that New York City is, don't you think?
Well, she doesn't feel like
absolutely
they wanted that. That was the main thing, right? She was the first ever black person on Real Housewives of New York. New York is such a diverse place, but apparently their bubble is not that diverse.
No, they made everything about race. It wasn't a normal show where you see women going out and doing what they do. Every show was something about race.
Well, that might be the editing, because I'm sure they filmed way more.
Yeah, the editing was trash. It was trash. The last season was trash.
Now, Eboni K Williams also said only Sonia Morgan was willing to come to the table and negotiate a future that involved me as a part of this ensemble. So here's what else she had to say about the season not being fun.
I feel very strongly that several of the aspects of the traditional housewife experience, which you know all too well because you helped curate the were absent from my season. We're in a lockdown. It's New York, so it's not the same as a lockdown in other parts of the country. It was no dice. There was no international trip. There was no glamour. There was no glitz. So it just was lacking of the fun that Housewives is known for.
So is Eboni going to be on the next season?
Not looking like it. She said only one member was willing to come to the table.
Oh, I thought she was saying there's 2 different shows and she's going to be on one of them. She's not even going to be on the next season.
She said her co-stars were unwilling to negotiate to keep her on the series. They didn't want to even meet her halfway in that negotiation.
It didn't fit. It didn't fit. That whole show, you could just tell it was just thrown together. I know a lot of times, at least the women know each other, but in New York, it was just an odd thing.
Now she also feels that she was blackballed.
I'm gonna be real. Were you blackballed by Luann, Ramona, Leah, in terms of not being able to come to the table?
They were unwilling to, yes, if you want to call it blackballed, I'm not going to, dispute the semantics of that, Carlos. What I am telling you plainly, only Sonia Morgan was willing to come to the table and negotiate a future that involved me as a part of this ensemble. Period. Dot.
I thought Leah was her friend on there.
Yeah, I don't think those were black balls. Those were white labias that were blocking Eboni K Williams from being on.
Because she came on as Leah's friend.
Well, she wasn't really Leah's friend. They just say she was a friend, but they didn't seem like they really knew each other.
I don't watch the show. I only watched it for Eboni a couple of times. Okay, salute to Leah too. You know what I mean? But I'm riding with Eboni. Whatever she wants to do, I'm with it.
All right, now Lee Daniels is saying that he was confused by what happened with Jussie Smollett. He did an interview with T.S. Madison, as you know. And here's what he had to say.
Are you mad at him? I was confused. So what happened? You tell me. I don't know. I don't know either. I mean, when I tell you, he says it didn't happen, and so I have to believe him that he believes that it didn't happen. Because that's the boy that I cast, and that's the boy that I love. And he was you. He was you. Listen, he. It's too painful to talk about, girl. I can't. It's too upsetting. Did you cry, Lee? Like a bitch.
Why is Lee Daniels so funny to me, man? Did you cry like a bitch? I watched that like 5 times yesterday for no reason.
What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know, man. And I listen, I understand where Lee coming from. That's his guy. He riding with his guy, right or wrong. And guess what?
He believes him.
Even if he didn't believe him, he's still riding with him. But, you know.
All right. And Pusha T posted its album title is Almost Dry. Phase 1 of the tour coming to a city near you. Tickets go on sale Friday. So tomorrow tickets will go on sale for the It's Almost Dry tour Phase 1 with special guests.
Okay.
So you can go to kingpush.com/tour to get those tickets.
It's Almost Dry. When is the album dropping, though? Is there a release date? You know, the single, that wasn't a single, but they put out a record yesterday with Hov, right? Mm-hmm. When is the album coming out?
It doesn't say. It does, however, say when the tour is starting. So I guess you figure it's going to be maybe around the same time. This tour starts May 29th in Seattle.
Okay. Well, if you liked Neck and Wrist yesterday, that's about the 7th or 8th best song on the album.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you and Coi Leray can go together so you can help expose her to some Pusha T.
Maybe she might have a feature with Pusha Button.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, that is your rumor reports.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Up next is the People's Choice Mix. Shout out to Jim Jones. He sent me his remix to his joint featuring Lil Wayne, Joel Santana, and Callis. We're going to start the mix off with that. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.